My beloved child, please sit down with me for a moment. You do not need to rush anymore. The world outside this room is spinning entirely too fast, moving at a frantic pace that leaves the soul breathless. But here, in this sacred space between you and me, time can simply stand still. I see you. I really see you. I look past the brave face you put on for your family, past the quiet smiles you offer to strangers, and I look directly into the deepest chambers of your heart. I know the exact number of hairs on your head, and I know every single one of the silver threads that now weave through them. Do you know how I see those silver threads? I do not see them as a sign of fading strength or lost youth. I see them as a magnificent crown of glory, a testament to a life that has weathered countless storms, a profound record of your endurance, your sacrifices, and your tears. You have lived through so many seasons, my precious one. You have stood in the bright, burning sun of your youth, and you have braved the freezing, bitter winters of loss. And now, as you find yourself in the autumn of your life, in these years that the world calls the third age, I feel the heavy, silent ache that rests deep within your weary bones. Please leave a like and comment below where you are watching from. I know that there are nights when the house is entirely silent, and you lie awake, staring into the darkness, listening to the ticking of the clock. I know the thoughts that come to visit you in those quiet hours. I hear the whispers of doubt that try to convince you that your best days are entirely behind you. I feel the sudden, sharp pangs of regret that rise up when you look back at the decades that have flown by so incredibly fast. You wonder if you did enough. You question if you loved enough, if you worked hard enough, if you guided your children correctly, or if you left the right kind of mark on this complicated world. My dear one, I want you to take a very deep breath right now, and as you exhale, I want you to release every single ounce of that suffocating guilt. You are holding yourself to a standard of perfection that I never, ever asked you to carry. I do not measure the worth of your beautiful life by the mistakes you have made, the opportunities you think you missed, or the times you stumbled in the dark. I measure your life by the immense, quiet love you have poured out, often when you were entirely empty yourself. You have carried so much for so long. Your hands, which may now tremble slightly or ache when the weather turns cold, are the hands that have built a life, the hands that have wiped away the tears of others, the hands that have folded in desperate prayer when there was no one else to turn to. I honor those hands. I honor your exhaustion. The world has a terrible habit of making you feel invisible as the years advance. It rushes past you, obsessed with the new, the young, and the fast, often leaving you feeling as though you are standing quietly on the sidelines of a race you no longer know how to run. But in my kingdom, you are never invisible. To me, you are more radiant, more valuable, and more deeply cherished right now than you have ever been in your entire life. Your wisdom is a treasure, and your quiet resilience is a breathtaking melody to my ears. Please, do not let the enemy convince you that because your physical steps have slowed, your spiritual journey has somehow lost its meaning. The doubts you feel right now, the wondering about what comes next, the anxiety about your health, the fear of becoming a burden to those you love, these are not signs of weak faith. They are simply the very real, very human responses to the vulnerability of growing older in a fragile body. I do not judge you for these fears. I do not condemn you for feeling tired. When I walked the dusty roads of Jerusalem, I knew what it was to be desperately fatigued. I knew what it was to need rest. And just as I washed the tired, dust-covered feet of my disciples, I am here right now, kneeling gently before you in the Spirit, asking to wash away the heavy, accumulated dust of your decades. I want to cleanse you of the feeling that you have somehow fallen short. You have not fallen short. You have survived. You have endured. And you have arrived exactly where I need you to be. Every tear you have ever shed in secret, I have caught in my own hands. Every sigh of exhaustion has been a prayer that I have heard and answered with overwhelming compassion. I am here to validate every single piece of your pain, to tell you that your feelings are profoundly real, and to assure you that you do not have to carry this immense weight by yourself for one more second. Let us speak gently, you and I, about the heavy armor you are currently wearing. You may not even realize you have it on because you have been adding to it, piece by heavy piece, year after year, decade after decade. I want to help you understand the true anatomy of this burden you carry, to gently illuminate where and how we sometimes lose our way in the chaotic rush of living. Do you remember when you were young, when the days stretched out before you like an endless, sunlit field, and your heart was so completely open to the world? In those early days, trust came easily, but then, as it always does, life began to happen. It did not happen all at once, but rather in a slow, relentless series of demands. The world asked you to step up, to be strong, to be the provider, the protector, the endless source of support for everyone around you. You learned very quickly that to survive in this beautiful but deeply broken world, you had to protect yourself. When people let you down, when trust was broken, when tragedy struck without warning, you did what any completely normal, hurting human being would do. You took a stone and began to build a wall around your heart. You built these walls to keep out the pain, to guard against failure, to insulate yourself from the biting winds of betrayal and loss. And oh, my beloved, you were so incredibly strong. You carried the monumental weight of your family's expectations. You carried the relentless stress of financial survival, the sleepless nights of worrying over your children's paths, the silent grief of burying people you loved far too soon. You kept moving, kept producing, kept surviving, because the world told you that stopping meant failing. In the process of being everything to everyone else, the world slowly and methodically stole your inner peace. The urgent replaced the important. The noise drowned out the silence. And as the years piled up, turning swiftly into decades, the very walls you built to protect yourself began to imprison you. Those defensive stones kept out the pain of the world, yes, but they also began to keep out my peace. You became so profoundly accustomed to carrying the heavy load on your own shoulders that you forgot how to lean into my embrace. You forgot how to simply be held. Even in your faith, you may have begun to view me as a distant manager of your life, rather than the intimate friend of your soul. You thought you had to present yourself perfectly to me, holding it all together, even when your spirit was quietly fracturing under the immense pressure. I watched you running on that endless treadmill of life, and my heart yearned for you. In the Gospel of Mark, there was a day when my disciples were so overwhelmed, so busy serving others and running from place to place, that they didn't even have a moment to eat. They were exhausted, physically and emotionally drained. And do you know what I said to them? I did not demand more work. I did not tell them to push through the pain. I looked at them with the exact same tender love I am looking at you with right now. And I said, "Come with me by yourselves to a quiet place and get some rest." Mark 6:31. That ancient, beautiful invitation was not just for them on that dusty Galilean road. It is my desperate, loving plea to you today. The physical slowing down that comes with the third age is not a punishment, my child. It is not a cruel trick of biology. I want you to reframe this season of your life. This physical slowing is actually a divine invitation. It is the slowing of the frantic pace so that your soul can finally catch up with your body. It is the quieting of the external noise so that you can finally hear my voice whispering how incredibly much you are loved. The solution to your deep, lingering exhaustion is not to find a new way to be busy, nor is it to dwell in the shadows of what you can no longer do. The loving, reality-anchored solution is the beautiful art of surrender. It is taking off that heavy, rusty armor of self-reliance. It is looking at the walls you have built and giving me permission to gently take them down, stone by stone. You no longer have to be the sole protector of your universe. You no longer have to hold the sky up. I am holding it for you. I have always been holding it for you. Now, my chosen one, look directly into my eyes and let the absolute truth of my next words wash over every tired inch of your soul. You might look at the calendar on your wall. You might look at the wrinkles on your hands, and the enemy might whisper to you that your time is running out, that the best chapters of your story have already been written and closed. But I tell you this with the sovereign authority of the Creator of the universe. My grace does not operate on the world's broken, frantic clock. The world operates in chronos, chronological time, ticking away, demanding productivity, and discarding what it deems old. But I operate in kairos, divine time, the appointed season of God, where one single moment of absolute, surrendered peace in my presence can completely redeem 1,000 lost, anxious days. In my kingdom, it is never, ever too late. The time you have left on this earth, whether it is counted in decades, years, or days, is entirely sufficient for complete redemption, for profound joy, and for a peace so deep it defies all human logic. You are not merely an aging citizen of a fading world. You are my chosen one. Let me remind you of who you truly are. Your identity is not tied to your past profession, the strength of your muscles, or the balance in your bank account. Your royal heritage was sealed in my very own blood. Do you remember what Good Friday truly means? It was not just an historical event of unimaginable suffering. It was the ultimate cosmic purchase of your eternal soul. When I hung on that cross, when the sky went dark and the veil of the temple was torn completely in two, I was looking across the vast expanse of time, and I saw you. I saw you sitting right where you are today, in this very season of your life, struggling with these exact doubts and fears. And I said, "It is finished. The debt is paid. The battle for your soul is won. I shed my blood so that in this exact moment, in the beautiful twilight of your earthly journey, you could walk in absolute, unshakable royalty. You are a king. You are a queen of my heart. Deeply loved, fiercely guarded, powerfully strong in spirit, and completely protected by the armies of heaven. I want you to stop looking backward at the doors that have closed, and I want you to stop looking forward with anxiety at the horizon you cannot see. I want you to simply rest in the sacred now. The winter of your physical life is actually the magnificent golden harvest of your spiritual life. You are a vessel of wisdom, a beacon of my enduring grace. Everything you have been through, every heartbreak, every triumph, every terrifying night, and every joyful morning has been woven perfectly into a tapestry of unparalleled beauty. I am wrapping you right now in a cloak of my divine comfort. Feel the warmth of my presence settling over your shoulders, dissolving the tension, melting away the fear. You are safe. You are so profoundly safe. The enemy cannot touch your soul, and the world cannot steal your crown. I am walking with you into tomorrow, holding your hands so tightly that nothing could ever tear you away from me. I want our conversation to continue, not just today, but every single morning when you wake, and every single night before you close your eyes. I am inviting you to step into a daily walk of overwhelming peace. Do not carry this burden for one more solitary moment. If you can feel my presence with you right now, if you feel the heavy chains of guilt, anxiety, and aging falling away from your spirit, I want you to make a physical declaration of your spiritual freedom. Leave your burden in the comments below. Type, "I receive your peace, Lord," and let that be the moment you completely surrender the weight. And please, subscribe to the channel so that we can continue this beautiful, healing journey together, walking hand in hand every single day. I love you with an everlasting love, my chosen one. Rest now, for your peace has been paid for, and your soul is finally home.